Good morning. In the last class, we were discussing about, we were solving some problems. And I think the last problem which we had written is this problem 4. Did any of you try it out? We do of this type, it will be easier for you. So they have defined 4 different signals in various time intervals, S1, S2, S3, S4. We have plotted those 4 signals. It looks like this. And looking at these 4 signals after we plot, we were easily able to make out that this S4 of t can be formed by adding S3 of t with S1 of t. So we have S4 of t as a dependent signal, but the remaining 3 signals cannot be formed from one another or by adding one another. So S1, S2, S3 turn out to be independent signals. So since we have 3 linearly independent signals, we conclude that we should have 3 orthonormal basis functions here. Okay. So even in the previous problem, I was telling you this. You first have to check the dependency of one signal over the other. If one is dependent and one is independent, then accordingly you will have 2 orthonormal. So in the previous case, I think we had 3 signals, right? X1, X2, X3. In that, one was dependent on the other 2. X1 was dependent on X2 and X3. So the other 2, X2 and X3, were linearly independent. So we considered 2 basis functions, phi1 and phi2. Whereas in this case, we are able to see S4 depends on S1 and S3, but in the others are all independent. So since we have 4 signals totally, S1, S2, S3 are linearly independent signals. Hence, we have to have 3 orthonormal basis functions. So in these 3 orthonormal basis functions, let's consider the basis functions are in the form 3 orthonormal basis functions, phi1, phi2 and phi3. So we have to find these 3 basis functions using what? Gram-Schmidt procedure, and the coefficients also, and so therefore find this. And how many coefficients I'll have? I'll have coefficient S11, then S21, S22, S31, S32 and S33. Find all this using the Gram-Schmidt procedure. Remember, this is what we have to do. Understand this procedure clearly once. You can easily apply it to any other problem. And the fun of it is we'll be finding, instead of finding integral directly using the mathematical formula, we can find the integral as area under the curves. It will become easier. So let's start off. Let me say step 1. So in step 1, I have to determine, say we know that, how do I find the first orthonormal basis function? Phi1 is determined as, remember in the Gram-Schmidt procedure, we defined it as S1 of t by S11, right? And how did we define S11? And S11 is defined as root of area under square of this S1 square of t. So S1 of t is the given signal. So we have S1 of t known. This is a known signal. So you find the square of that signal and the area under the curve, the integral. This is nothing but energy of the signal. So I can say it is nothing but root of E1. So this whole thing here represents energy. This is nothing but energy in the signal S1. Okay. So our first job is, since S1 is given, we'll try to find the energy in that signal S1, and then we will use that to find the coefficient S11, and next we'll find phi1. So we'll proceed in this way. What is S1 given as? S1 is 1 in the interval 0 to t by 3. So let me, this is S1, right? 0 to t by 3. Therefore, can I find what is the energy in S1? Integral 0 to t by 3, 1 square dt. So this signal is existing as a value 1 only in this interval between 0 to t by 3. So what would this value turn out to be? This is 1 square is nothing but t integral, and apply the limits 0 to t by 3. So this turns out to be 3 by 3, t by 3. So the energy in the signal S1 is nothing but t by 3. Therefore, what is S11? S11 is root of E1, which is root of t by 3. Okay. So remember, I have found the first coefficient S11. So using this, can I find what is the first orthonormal basis function? Phi1. Phi1 of t is defined as S1 of t divided by S11, or I can write it as S1 of t divided by root of E1. Both mean one and the same. So can we find this? We have S1 of t here, 1 in the interval 0 to t by 3, and if I divide it with root E1 or S11, which is root t by 3, what do you think I'll get? Can you draw the waveform? Therefore, what is phi1 of t? 1 divided by root, this will be 1 divided by root t by 3, and in the interval 0 to t by 3. Otherwise, it will be 0. So what will this become? I think this will become, can I say this is root 3 by t? 1 divided by root t by 3. It will just interchange. I can write this amplitude to be root 3 by t. Again, this exists only between 0 to t by 3. So remember, this is nothing but phi1 of t. Okay. So phi1 of t is, and remember this is in the interval. I'll not say phi1 of t is just this. Phi1 of t is found like this. I can remove this. This is only for calculation to draw the waveform. If I write it like this, it will look like phi1 of t itself has that value. But remember, the value of phi1 of t changes. Its value, if I have to represent phi1 of t, therefore phi1 of t is something which has the value root 3 by t when t lies between 0 to t by 3 and it is 0 elsewhere. Something like this you should write. This is the function. Are you following? It is better if you draw the waveform. It is easier to analyze with the waveforms. Even without that, it is fine. But why I drew the waveform is I have to define phi1 like this. But with the waveform, I need not write this equation. I can skip this equation. I can just show phi1 as this and leave it. That's why it's better to write the waveforms. Okay. Now let's do what? Step 2. I found S11 and phi1. So in step 2, I have to consider S2. Now consider signal S2 of t, and under that first consider, let me call it as projection of S2 over phi1 of t. Remember, the signal S2 depends on, if you recall, remember, if you say, let me say, recall, S2 is S21 phi1 of t plus S22 phi2 of t. We considered two terms whenever we had to find the signal S2, right? So whenever you had to find the signal S2, you always considered two terms. So I have to find what is the projection of S2 over this function phi1. That will be S21. And you have to find what is the projection of S2 over phi2, which will be S22. So projection of S2 over phi1, let me find this first part. Okay. What would it be? How do I define S21? Remember, all this you have to recall. If you do it in one or two problems, it's easier for you to recall. S21 is defined as integral S2 into phi1 of t dt. This is how we define the projection of S2 over phi1. Okay, it is nothing but S2 into phi1 and area under that curve in the interval 0 to t. Again, we will do this graphically. It becomes easier. What was S2? Let me draw S2. I think S2 was defined here. Between t by 3 to 2t by 3, it was 1. So let me draw that. It was 1 in the interval t by 3 to 2t by 3. And what is phi1? Phi1 we have drawn here. See, this how it is helpful. Draw phi1 again. Did I, 1 second, is S2 correct? S2 of t t by 3 to 2t by 3, right? Okay. And what is phi1? It exists between 0 to t by 3. And this value is root 3 by t. This is phi1 of t. We have it here. Now, I need the product of S2 into phi1. What would you get as a product? What would it be? You can clearly see S2 into phi1 here. Do they match? The time interval where they exist is completely different. This has a value root 3 by t. It gets multiplied with 0. I'll get in this region the value is 0 into this. Again in this region between t by 3 to 3 by 3 it is still 0. So you'll get the value as 0 here also. So the product in this case has turned out to be 0. So naturally, what is the area under the curve? If the product is 0, the area under the curve is also 0. Yes or no? Therefore, the value of S21, which is nothing but the projection of the signal S2 over the orthonormal basis function phi1 turns out to be 0, which is clearly seen from the waveforms. Is this okay? Is it clear to you? If you have any doubts, please ask. Okay. Now we found S21. We already know the value of phi1. We have to find S22 and phi2. So we'll go to the next step. Say step 3. What is, how do I define S22 into phi2? Again, from the Gram-Schmidt procedure, we know S22 into phi2 can be defined as S2 of t minus S21 of t into phi1 of t. You see the equation. Here we have the equation S2 of t is S21 phi1 plus S22 phi2. S22 phi2 is S2 of t minus S21 phi1 of t. Okay. So instead of calling this by this, I can also say, I'll call this as phi2 dash of t. I'll name it as phi2 dash of t. You can just call it like this. Therefore, phi2 dash of t is S2 of t minus S21 into phi1 of t. Can you find this value? Again from the waveforms. What is S2? S2 of t exists between t by 3 to 2t by 3 having a value 1, and S21 into phi1 is 0. We already know S21 into phi1 turns out to be 0. Why? Because S21 value is 0. So in this case, even without seeing the graph, you can say phi2 dash of t will be equal to S2 of t itself. Right? So since this second term is 0, even without graph, you can say phi2 dash of t is S2 of t. Therefore, how do I, this is nothing but S22 into phi2. So how do I find S22? Do you remember the definition for S22? Even if you don't remember, directly from this equation you can write what would S22 be? S2 of t minus S21 phi1 area under the curve. S2 of t minus S21 phi1 of t. The energy of this signal, which is defined like this. So what is the energy under this signal? We are finding the energy. These coefficients are always obtained as root of energy. So which energy should I consider? From the equation, I'll get that. See, S22 into phi2 is S2 minus S21 phi1. So if I'm interested in finding S22, I defined it as, we did it in the Gram-Schmidt procedure. We defined it as the energy under this signal, that is S2 minus S21 phi1 of t. And how do I find the energy? Square the signal and integrate between 0 to t. You are going to find the energy and root of that energy. So if we say if just as a short form, if you want to write, you can call this as root of energy under the signal. What did we call it as? Phi2 dash we called it as, right? We called this signal as phi2 dash. So root of energy under the signal phi2 dash, I can say E2 or root of E under phi2 dash. Both are same. Now, what did this turn out to be in this case? What was the, I should get now? I am interested in getting the value. Which value am I interested in getting? S2 of t minus S2151, which is clearly seen, this one minus this, you are going to get it as S2 itself. Yes or no? This minus this, I have to subtract the second one from the first one. S2 minus S2151. So I'm getting this signal as it is. Square that signal, what will I get? I'll get 1 square in the interval t by 3 to 2t by 3, root of this I should find. That is S22. So the energy under this signal, how do you find? You square the signal and integrate it in the given limits. That's how you're finding the energy in this signal. Okay. We called this signal as phi2 dash of t. If you want, you name, otherwise you can keep it as it is. I'm just showing you that name because it's easier in some problems we do it. What is this value? Therefore, S22 is equal to root 1 square dt integral is t in the interval t by 3 to 2t by 3. Can you tell me how much will that be? 2t by 3 minus t by 3. Yeah? I'll get it as root t by 3. Is that right? Yes or no? See, just compute this integral. The value is 1 in this range, and if I apply the limits after the integration, I'll get 2t by 3 minus t by 3, which turns out to be t by 3, and it is under square root. Therefore, the value of S22, the second coefficient, is root t by 3. Now we should find what is phi2 of t. So now I have phi1 in the first case, then I have S11. We found S11 phi1 here. Sandeep. Please be careful. You'll unmute yourself and you're talking. So here we found S11 phi1. Then from the second equation we found S21. We found S22 now. We have to find phi2. How do I define phi2? You can see clearly here. S2 of t. What is phi2 dash? It is defined as S22 of t into phi2. Sorry. Why have we called this phi2? Yeah, phi2 dash of t was defined like this. So how do I find phi2? You can easily say phi, what should I say? S, it will be phi2 dash of t divided by root of E2. Or in other words, if I want to write the complete equation, I can write, what did we call as phi2 dash? S2 minus S21 phi1 of t. S2 minus S21 phi1 of t. This was our phi2 dash. This whole thing divided by root E2. What is root E2? It is nothing but your S22. This whole thing divided by S22. If you see, we have considered the same equation when we wrote the Gram-Schmidt procedure. And what does this turn out to be? We have already subtracted S2151 from S2. What did we get? We got back S2 itself because S2151 turned out to be 0. Here I am going to get S2 of t itself minus 0 divided by S22, or I can simply say S2 of t divided by root t by 3. So can we draw this signal? Call this 2 or whatever. Our S2 minus S2151, which we called as phi2 dash of t, is represented like this: t by 3, 2t by 3. This is how we represented this signal. Now, if I divide it with root t by 3, this value is 1. If I divide 1 with root t by 3, what will I get? In this range again, the amplitude alone changes. 1 divided by root t by 3, this value will become root 3 by t, that's all. So 1 by root t by 3 I showed you. In this range, it will become root 3 by t. This is your phi2 of t. So remember, phi2 of t is represented with this waveform. I'm not writing the equation. Again, I told, if you want to write the equation, it will look something like this. Phi2 of t has the value root 3 by t in the interval t by 3 to 2t by 3. Only in this range it has some value. It is 0 elsewhere. This is how you have to represent phi2 of t. But I told you, if you draw the waveform, writing the equation is not compulsory. So now we are done with 2 signals. But remember, here we have 3 signals and 3 orthonormal basis functions. So I don't know what step number we use. Step 3, step 4. This is step 4. I should go to step 5. In step 5, we have to find what? Phi3 of t. And before that, we have to find S31, S32 and S33, which correspond to projections of signal S3 of t over phi1 of t, phi2 of t and phi3 of t. So what is the projection of the signal S3 of t over the first orthonormal basis function, that is S31, S3 of t over second orthonormal basis function S32, and over the third orthonormal basis function, it is S33. So again recall what was the equation for S3 of t which we considered. We considered S31 into phi1 of t plus S32 into phi2 of t plus S33 into phi3 of t. We considered these 3 coefficients to be non-zero and all the other higher order coefficients to be 0. Right? This is how we analyzed. Now we have to find all this. As usual, how do we start finding? So first, sub-steps in this. Let's find S31. How do I define S31 and S32? Do you remember? The projection of a given signal over a given orthonormal basis function is that signal into the orthonormal basis function integrated over one time period t. That's how we define S31. So let us take the waveforms and let us try to determine these values. Let's see what is S3 of t first. How did we define S3 of t? S3 of t has the value 1 between t by 3 and t, correct? So let me write S3 of t. S3 of t is like this. It has the value 1 in the range t by 3 to t. Now, what was phi 1 of t? How was phi 1 of t defined? Look at the waveform of phi 1 of t here. What did we have for phi 1? It exists in the range 0 to t by 3 and the value is root 3 by t. So, this exists in the range 0 to t by 3 and its value is root 3 by t. Now what should I do? I should multiply these two and find the area under the curve. What will you get when you multiply these two? You clearly see there is a mismatch in their existence and the timing. So in this point where it is root 3 by 2, it is 0. So when I multiply in this interval, I'll get it as 0. And again in this interval from t by 3 to t, this is 1, but this is 0. So here also I'm getting 0. So the product S3 of t into phi 1 of t turns out to be 0. So what will happen to this value S31? Even this turns out to be 0. Therefore, just like how we got in the previous case, because the waveforms given to us are like that, S31 value is 0. Now let's move on and let's try to find the projection. Similarly, how do I find S32? S32 is defined as the projection of S3 of t over phi 2 of t in the interval 0 to t. Okay, so this is how we define S32. Can you try to draw these waveforms and find? Do it. What was the value? S3 of t is this 1 between t by 3 to t. And what was phi 2? Let's see phi 2. Between t by 3 to 2t by 3, it has the value root 3 by 2. See here, root 3 by t is the value. So let's write it. Phi 2 between t by 3 to 2t by 3, it has the value root 3 by t. This is phi 2. What am I supposed to do? I am supposed to multiply these two signals according to this equation and find the area under the curve. So when you multiply, what will you get? S3 of t into phi 2 of t. What would it be? Between t by 3 to 2t by 3, it is root of 3 by t into 1. So it will remain as root 3 by t in this range, because this into 1 will give you the same. And from here to here, this is 2t by 3 to t. This is 1, but this is 0. So your final product will also remain as 0. So this signal exists only in this range. This is the product. So what is the area under this curve? See, integral means area under this product. Can you tell me what will be the area under this curve? It's width into height. How much is that? This turns out to be, it is root 3 by t into 2t by 3 minus t by 3. That is the width. So what is the width of this? It is 2t by 3 into minus t by 3. This is the, or length into breadth, whatever you want you consider. So this minus this is the length, and the height is root 3 by t. So that gives you the area under this waveform, which is nothing but the integral. How much will it turn out to be? This is root 3 by t into this is t by 3, correct? So root 3 and root 3 cancels, root t and root t. Will I get it as root t by 3? Correct? Yes or no? Please respond. Are you people following? Please ask if you have any doubts. So S32 is found as root t by 3. Next, I have to find S33 and what? Phi 3. So let me say step 7 or whatever we have. We know that how do I define S33 square? S33 square can be defined as say integral 0 to t S3 of t minus S31 into phi 1 minus S32 into phi 2 the whole square dt. This is how I will define this value S33. So I have to find S3 from which I should subtract S31 phi 1 and S32 phi 2. Then I'll be able to define this. How do we do it? Very often, you say very often, we call this as phi 3 dash of t. And what is that? S3 of t minus S31 phi 1 minus S32 phi 2 can be called as phi 3 dash. Let phi 3 dash of t be this. And what was S31 value? S31 was 0, I think. See, S31 value was 0. So what will happen to this equation? This will become S3 of t minus 0 minus S32 into phi 2 of t. Let us determine this graphically. I'll write S3 of t, which is 1 in the range t by 3 to t. And next, I have to write the product of S32 into phi 2. S32, S3 into phi 2 I have here. What is S32? Did we draw S? See, S32 value is root t by 3. Sorry. This should be root t by 3 into phi 2. What was phi 2? Let me write phi 2. Where is phi 2? Yeah. Phi 2 is between t by 3 to 2t by 3. Its value is root 3 by 2. This is phi 2. When I multiply this, what will I get? Say phi 2 into root t by 3. What does it become? This one. Here it is 0. Here root 3 by t. If I multiply this root 3 by t with root t by 3, this value turns out to be 1. So root S32 into phi 2 will have the value 1 in the range t by 3 to 2t by 3. Are you following? See here, S32 value we have found as root t by 3. This is S32. this value has been found as root t by 3, and phi 2 is nothing but this one. Between the interval t by 3 to 2t by 3, its value is root 3 by t. So what I'm doing, I'm drawing phi 2 and I'm multiplying that phi 2 with S32, which is this. So when I multiply, the value becomes 1 in this range. Now what should I do? I should subtract this second waveform from the first one. I'm supposed to find S3 minus S32 into phi 2. Do it. So what will you get? S3 minus S32 into phi 2 as 1 minus 1 in this range, it will be 0, correct? Between t by 3 to 2t by 3, you can see in this range it is 1 minus 1, which is 0. Whereas between 2t by 3 to t, it is 1 minus 0. So this would be the waveform. If I try to find S3 minus S32 into phi 2, I'm going to get the waveform like this. And what are we supposed to find S33? I'm supposed to take this phi 3 dash, which is, you see the signal inside here. S3 minus S31 phi 1 minus S32 phi 2. You have to find the energy of this signal. Square the signal and integrate it. So let me try to find what will be the energy under this signal. How do you find the energy under the signal? Therefore, the energy under the signal is integral 0 to t 1 square dt. Instead of 0 to t, this signal exists. I'll write it here itself. It is between 2t by 3 to t, correct? So this signal exists. Its value is 1 only between 2t by 3 to t. This is the signal which we have found. And if you integrate it in that range, what will you get? How much do you get? This is again t in the range 2t by 3 to t. This will be t minus 2t by 3. What does it turn out to be? T by 3, yeah? So the energy in this signal, you look at this first equation, what we have written. S33 square will give us the energy in this difference signal, and that is the signal which we have drawn here, and the energy in that signal turns out to be T by 3. So can you tell us what is S33 then? Therefore, the coefficient S33 square is your E3. Therefore, the coefficient S33 is nothing but root t by 3. So now I have found the third coefficient S33. We have already found S32 here and S31 here. So all the three coefficients needed in this equation are found. Phi 1 and phi 2 we found it from the first two equations. Now the last part which we have to find is phi 3. We have to find the third orthonormal basis function, phi 3. So step 8, to find phi 3. How do I define phi 3? I can easily say phi 3 of t is phi 3 dash of t divided by S33. Yes or no? What is this phi 3 dash of t? Remember, this is S3 of t minus S31 phi 1 minus S32 phi 2. So this divided by, remember, recall from this equation we had written. How do I define the value phi 3 here? I'll take these two terms to the left hand side, S3 minus S31 phi 1 minus S32 phi 2, and divide it with the coefficient S33. then I'll get phi 3. That's all I'm trying to do here, the same thing. So let's find how much is this phi 3 dash of t. This phi 3 dash of t divided by S33, phi 3 dash of t divided by S33 was root t by 3. Root t by 3. Let's draw that waveform. I'll directly draw phi 3 of t. We have phi 3 dash. This is our phi 3 dash. Phi 3 dash of t is what we have here, whose value is 1 between the range 2t by 3 to t. So when I divide this with what? Root t by 3, what will I get? It's almost like 1 divided by root t by 3. How much will it be? This will be having the value root 3 by 2 in the interval 2t by 3 to t. So phi 3 dash divided by root t by 3 will give you root 3 by t in the interval this. So this is your phi 3. Okay. I'll remove this because it's not at one particular value. Now we have found everything. All values are found. So we have to write the equations. You say, hence, write the equations. Write the equations for S1, S2, S3 and S4 in terms of phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. How do I write? Do you remember what is the expression for S1? S1 will be defined as S11 phi 1 of t plus S12 phi 2 of t plus S13 phi 3 of t. Remember, these two values don't exist. They are zeros. They don't exist. So what will happen to this equation? This equation will be just S11 into phi 1. Do you remember what was the value of S11? The first thing which we found, S11 value is root t by 3. You can see here S11 is root of E1, which is root t by 3. Let me substitute that. Therefore, you say the first equation is root t by 3 into phi 1 of t plus 0 if you want, you can write. Or we can also list the coordinates. What will be the coordinates of the vector S1? What will be the coordinates of the vector S1? We have a 3-axis system which we have to draw whenever we draw the constellation diagram. Remember, I have phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. I have 3 orthonormal basis functions. So I should draw it along 3 perpendicular axes. Please remember that. So if you have to consider 3 orthonormal basis functions in 3 perpendicular axes, then you have to have 3 coordinate values for each of the signals. So what about signal S1? The signal S1 has the coordinate root t by 3 for phi 1 in the phi 1 axis, and its values are 0 and 0 in the other two axes, phi 2 and phi 3. Correct? Similarly, let me write the equation for S2 of t. S2 of t will be defined as S21 phi 1 plus S22 phi 2 plus S23 phi 3. Again, if you remember, this S23 is not existent. We consider only the first two terms and we consider the others as 0. Even when we use the Gram-Schmidt procedure, that's how we did. So all we have to do is we have to list what is S21 and S22. I think we got S21 as 0, right? What was S21? Yeah, S21 is 0 and S22 root t by 3. See here, S22 value is root t by 3 and S21 was 0. So let me substitute. So this is 0 into phi 1 of t plus root t by 3 into phi 2 of t plus 0 into phi 3. So S2 in terms of equation will have only phi 2 value. And what are the coordinates of the vector S2? The signal vector S2 has coordinates 0, t, root t by 3 in the phi 2 axis, 0 in the phi 3 axis. So this is the coordinates. Next, let's write the expression for signal S3 of t. S3 of t will be S31 phi 1, S32 phi 2 plus S33 phi 3. All these exist. I think S31 value was 0, right? S31 we got as 0. S32 is root t by 3. And S33, how much did we get? What was the value of this? S33 is also root t by 3. So what will happen to this equation? 0 into phi 1 plus root t by 3 into phi 2 plus root t by 3 into phi 3. This is our equation for S3 of t, and the vector S3 will have the coordinates 0, root t by 3 and root t by 3. So it has projections in the phi 2 and phi 3 axis, but nothing in phi 1 axis. Now we have the fourth signal, S4. We have four signals here. S4 of t, I think, was the combination of S1 and S3. Yeah? We wrote initially, do you remember? It's a lengthy problem here. It is actually very easy, but the length is high, that's all. Yeah. S4 was written as S1 plus S3. So we have already written S1 and S3 here. I'll just take both and substitute. What was S1? Root t by 3 phi 1. S1 is root t by 3 phi 1. And what is S3? S3 is, let me directly write this. I'll remove this 0. Root t by 3 phi 2 plus root t by 3 phi 3. So S4 is nothing but S1 plus S3. This is S3 and S1 we had before as just root t by 3 phi 1. So I'm combining everything. This gives you the expression for S4 of t. So can you write the signal vector? S4 is, it has the value t by 3 in as projections in all the three axes. So now comes our constellation diagram. You have to draw three perpendicular axes. Remember how we would draw the three perpendicular axes? So you consider three perpendicular axes. You can consider one as phi 1, the other as phi 2, and the third one as phi 3. So let me take phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. Anything you can consider, it's your choice. And this value is all zeros. origin. Now I have to find the signal vectors S1, S2, S3 and S4. Let's see the vector S1. It has only a length in phi 1 axis and 0, 0 in the other. So how do I write that point? This point will have a length, what? Root t by 3 only along this axis, and it is 0 in the other two axes. So directly this gives your signal vector S1. It is just this vector. This is your signal vector S1, the first point. What about S2? S2 exists only in phi 2 and it is 0 in the other two. So S2 will be here. Its value is 0 root t by 3, 0. This is S2. Correct? S3, 0 in phi 1, root t by 3 and root t by 3 in phi 2 and phi 3. So this value is, let me say, in phi 2. And if this point corresponds to root t by 3 in the phi 3 axis, if I take the projection, this will be my point S3. So S3 has the coordinates as 0, root t by 3 and root t by 3. So this corresponds to the point S3. Okay. So if you want to draw the signal vector, this is how you will draw the vector S3. It will exist here. Lastly, S4. S4 has coordinates in all the 4 points. So how would you draw S4? I should consider all the 3 axes. Now, this is root t by 3 in this axis. This is root t by 3. This is root t by 3. So I think if I take a projection in the third somewhere here, it's a three-dimensional figure. So if I just consider a projection something like this, you imagine the three-dimensional axis and I can show S4 here. S4 has the coordinate root t by 3, root t by 3, root t by 3 in all 4. It has phi 1, phi 2, phi 3 all considered. So ideally speaking, it is a point in space which comes in the center of all the 3 axes. I can't show it as a two-dimensional figure. I just have to show a projection. So I'll just show S4 as a point here. I hope you understood this. So this is the problem and solution. Please go through this. You can have many similar problems and you should learn to practice and solve this fast. Okay. All of you please drop in your USNs.